I saw the Digital Foundry comparison between the Xbox Series X and the PS5 at 60, 120, and I want to give you some recommendations based on that. My intention is not to say that one console is better than the other. That's irrelevant. I just want to give you something that maybe help you to get a better result or a better experience here. If you have an LG C1 on the PS5, based on the performance that I saw on that Digital Foundry video, definitely 100%, if you have an LG C1, use the 120 FPS mode with Motion Pro High. Amazing. You have to try that because based on that video, the frame rate only drops when you go on the water, the same as I'm using here. So right now, with the settings that I'm using, if I go on the water, you see 115, 113. Yeah, that's okay. It's not a big deal. You are not panning the camera under the water. You are not doing this basically. When you pan the camera, see if the frame rate drops and you pan the camera, you will see judder. So it's going to jump a little bit. So it's going to interrupt the fluidity of the motion, and that's distracting. But that's not a big deal. So that's what happens on the PS5. Definitely use game optimizer mode. So you are on console mode, game optimizer mode, or even PC mode, and go down to OLED Motion Pro. This one, OLED Motion Pro, high at 120 FPS on the PS5. Absolutely use that. That's just amazing. Like a must. You have to try that. So use that on HDR to get the brightness and let me know how that looks. I am using it here and it's just amazing. Also, I'm going to give you at the end the settings for the controller that I got from Z Laner. Z Laner, he plays amazing with the controller. So I'm trying to get good. So I'm using his settings for the controller and also the FOV settings, and I'm gonna give you that too. It's just something that I steal from him. So on the Xbox, for some reason, I don't understand why, the performance drops below 120 a little bit most of the time, based on that Digital Foundry video. And I really don't understand why, because the Xbox has a more powerful hardware. The chip that the Xbox has is more powerful. And Digital Foundry is saying that the game has the same settings in both. Same resolution, same settings. I don't understand why the Xbox is performing a little bit below. So if you have a C2, for example, that doesn't have the 120 hertz black frame insertion, it doesn't matter, because if you use VRR, a FreeSync, it doesn't matter when it drops below 120, because you're not going to get a screen tearing, and it's okay, no problem at all. And you might even consider not using VRR at all and just use the 120 FPS and get the tearing, because that's gonna give you a little bit better input lag. I would not do that. I'm gonna use the VRR for sure. But if you are looking for the best input lag possible, don't even use VRR and just get the screen tearing, and that's gonna give you better input lag. So on the Xbox, what I would recommend you is to try the 60 FPS mode, because that is perfect based on the Digital Foundry video, and use OLED Motion Pro. So use high on the C1 or just turn it on if you have a C2, and see if you look that. See how you look that, because that's going to probably, most likely, that's going to give you a better motion clarity than 120. But maybe you will like more the 120 because you get no flickering, you get a better input lag and HDR. So that's probably a better option, but try the 60 FPS mode with BFI and see how you like that. And yeah, so let me share with you the settings that I steal from from Z-Laner. By the way, I watched this character, Dr. Disrespect. Man, that guy is funny, man. That guy is a genius. A genius. I'm telling you, like, not joking. That guy is a genius. He's performing a character amazing. Like, I was impressed with Doctor Disrespect. But Z-Laner, like, he's a monster playing Call of Duty, and he plays with a controller. So I'm trying to play like him, like this claw, and I got his settings, and you can try this on the consoles too. I'm gonna post it on the description his original video, so you can go and watch his video. But I'm just gonna give you the settings. It's not I don't think it's a big deal. So just here on the controller, I am using the sensitivity. He's using 6 on that video, 6 horizontal and vertical sensitivity, and then everything else at the default. And then the let me see what else we change here. So we change here this spring tactical. This just changes the game completely. Like, it makes you play so much faster. This automatic tactical sprint, this here prioritize, interact. Just copy these settings. This is what I got from his video. You can go back and watch his video. He knows about this more, so he can explain you why all this stuff. I just copy his settings, and let's see what else. Also, he recommends you to turn off the vibration, but I like the vibration, so I'm just gonna keep it. And in advance, let's see what else he recommended here. The sensitivity. Let's see, where is the sensitivity? The dead zone. Okay, so this is important. So this, you have to adjust it based on your controller. If you have a brand new controller, you can lower this to 0.3, maybe 0.2. So basically the idea is to lower this as much as possible without getting drift. So without the character moving by itself. There's always a little bit of drift on the controller. When with use, it gets worse. And I just lowered this triggers. He had it at 0.05. Let's see what else we have here. The rest of the settings. I don't remember anything else specifically, but yeah, I just copy his settings. I'm gonna have the link of his video on the description. So yeah, I'm getting into Warzone, man. The FOB. The other thing is the FOB. He's using 120 FOB. That I'm trying to get used to that. It's gigantic. It feels that it's warping on the sides of the screen, and I don't like that. So the geometry changes from here. So when it goes to the center, it becomes smaller and it gets wider. I don't like that. But it does give you a higher FOB. And for the PC settings, if you have a PC, I am using, let me show you what I'm using right now. Let me just go away here. So what I'm using on the PC, and I'm still trying to fine tune this to get the best experience. But I'm using DLSS balance with my 3080, and everything is on high, all the settings on high, but the shader quality, that's the thing that is more demanding to get 120. So I lowered this to low. Everything else is almost max, and also the volumetric quality for the fog and all of that, I don't care about that for here. So just lower it to low, the physics to off, water caustics to off, and everything else is on high. Ambient occlusion here on high, and both high. and NVIDIA Reflex on, because if you use on plus ultra, is going to cap the frame rate to 116. And then I am using DLSS balance at 4K without sharpness. Sharpness at 50, which is the default, and that is giving me 120 almost all the time, unless I go on the water. So basically the water is the only thing that still drops, but that's okay. I can play like that. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm trying to get good at the game. I've never been a competitive player, especially not with a controller. It's not easy to play with a controller and like this. It's tough to play like this, but you know, I can get some kills, but I have to get used to play like this. Club. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and definitely on the PS5, give it a try to OLED Motion Pro High. If you have a C1, on the Xbox it's dropping below 120, so I would recommend you just enjoy HDR and use VRR, or even try the 60 FPS with OLED Motion Pro High on the Xbox for sure. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and yeah.